Hey, how you doing, Josh?
I'm doing great. Thank you for taking the time to do this interview.
Oh, no worries. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, not a problem. And of course, we're here to talk about the brand new album from Sicocis, Requiem for the World, which is available now through M3 Audio. It's awesome to see the new album out because it's definitely become one of my favorites of the year so far.
Oh, I really appreciate it, man. We've been working really hard on it, and it's good to finally have it out to the masses, you know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. So, what went into the making of the new album?
Oh, man. Well, like I said, we've been working on it for such a long time, and, we wanted to have a variety of songs to show off what we could do as a band. As you can tell, we have our straight headbanger songs like We Shall Rise or Worship So Metro, but then we also take a plunge into, our darker side, like with songs like, well, it's early. I'm still waking up.
No,
like, Isolated Salvation and With Open Eyes, you know what I mean? So it's just like a vast type of, arrangements that we wanted to offer, and we worked on it for such a long time, me and Raphael, and, then when we had Rob and Travis into the fold, they brought a whole new element with everything, so it really worked out. And, we kind of want to follow the same equation that we did for this one, for the next one, you know what I mean? Just to, if it's successful, if the people receive it right, we want to, give them something similar but more involved in a way,
So, with having a new lineup, what would you say that they brought into the fold that wasn't there from a creative side?
Well, Rob, he used to play drums with us a long time ago, back when, this specific version of Sicocis, if you will, formed. And so it was a breath of fresh air having him back in the fold. He shares a lot of musical ideas that we do. And then Travis, he brought in his whole unique style of growling, and at the same time he could also back me up on harmonies, so that was always nice. And we're just like-minded individuals, and we love to have fun. We love to play, metal music.
Oh, absolutely. And I can honestly say again, with this lineup, with this album, it really has become one of my favorite albums of the year because I think that this style, sometimes can be overrun with it. I mean, with how many bands are out there, but you guys are doing it in such a way that it is such a great joy to be able to listen to from start to finish.
Thank you, man. Really appreciate it. Yeah, like I said, we just really wanted to show what we were capable of,
Oh, absolutely. And it's not without a great prestige as well, as you guys are going to be hitting North America with an amazing run coming up.
Oh, yes. Very, very excited about that. That was definitely unexpected, and just I'm still pinching myself. It's our very first tour, and we are beyond excited. We just saw, I think it was last year, we saw Arkona open up with Epica, and it was just like, wow, never heard of these guys before, and they just completely blew us away with their set, and we actually got to meet them afterwards, and it was super, super nice, and it's kind of crazy we're actually going on tour with them now.
Yeah, and they are such a great band, and it's amazing to see you a part of the fold with that as well. I mean, just from going in last year, going to see them, and now opening for them.
Yeah, I know, it's pretty surreal. Like I said, I'm still pinching myself about it, and it's gonna be awesome. We're gonna bring what Sicocis has always brought, here in Vegas. We're gonna bring it to the States and stuff, and show them what we got, and put on a great show for everyone.
No, and I'm glad to see that too, because with the bill being as diverse as it is, I mean, you guys are really going to be bringing something that's not a part of the tour, and that's what makes it so much fun, being able to hear all these different styles that correlate together in one night.
Definitely. It's gonna be a little tough, picking the right songs to show off for the first time, but I think we're gonna pick a good set list to kind of show off the album, if you will.
Have you guys thought about it that far yet, or is that still working itself out?
I'm sorry, you were breaking up. Can you repeat that?
Oh, sure. Have you guys thought about the set list as far as what you want to play yet, or are you guys still working on that?
We're working on it. We usually like to put a good variety of songs. We usually open up the night with We Shall Rise, and then, that usually goes right into Worship Sometra. Then, we usually go down tuning after that and go to Quantum and totally take them on a curve to Isolated Salvation, and then usually end the night with the title track Requiem, and that one's always fun because we love having everybody sing along with us, and it's such a great feeling to see people's faces and people having a good time in your music. But it's even more greater to see them singing your music that you wrote. It's really surreal.
Yeah, and it's ample time to be able to get people familiar with it too. I mean, that's the great thing about promotion, like actually seeing the support bands actually getting recognition before a tour, because a lot of times that doesn't happen. But I'm glad to see that the reception, at least from what I've seen, has been great for you guys. And I would think by the time that the tour actually comes around, that people will just be singing along right along with you.
Yeah, it's largely due to Marco and the guys at M3 Audio. They have such a professional team over there, and they really help blow everything up for us, and we owe them so much, and it's such a nice friendship and partnership that we have. Like you said, not a lot of bands get that before a tour, and we're lucky enough to have that.
Yeah, very much so. And I'm sure I would have eventually heard you guys, but it wasn't until the PR got my way and showed me you guys that I just really started falling in love with what you guys do, and I've become an instant fan from that. And that just goes to show how great that PR and all of the great publicity can really help a band.
I really appreciate it, man. Thank you. It's like I said, they have such a great team, and it's so nice. It's so nice to be working with them, and I really don't see us doing it with anybody else because it's Marco, it's M3 Audio, it's fucking awesome. Excuse me, I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss or not, but I wanted to express my sentiment.
That just shows how much you truly appreciate it.
Exactly, they're family for us, man. They're so great.
So how has the reception been? I know that album just came out on Friday, but have you heard any response in the last few days about the album dropping?
Yeah, we've had a few people who actually message us on our Facebook, and they'll talk to us like, "Hey, my brother just heard you guys and turned me on to them, and you guys are freaking awesome." And then we just played Fullerton. That was Sunday. I don't even know what planet I'm on, man. And, we had a few people check us out for the first time and get the CD right after we played. But then we had some people that already heard about us, and, we would play a song and announce it, and people would be excited because they knew what the song was. And I was just like, wow, that's insane. You know what I mean? So it's getting there, it's slowly growing, but, it's good to see that people are responding to it after how hard we worked on it and stuff.
Yeah, and I'm glad to see that as well, because it would be such a shame if this really went under the radar, but it doesn't feel like that's happening. I think people are starting to catch on, and I think it's really going to pay off for you guys, especially with this upcoming tour with Arkona.
Oh, definitely. It's going to be a ton of fun. It's going to be our first tour, our first exposure to the States, and I'm super excited about it. I'm super excited to see how this album does, and definitely more excited to see what we can bring after that,
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of that, is there anything lined up after the tour yet, or is that still in the works?
Still in the works. We have a ton, folders and folders on our computer of new material that we've been, working on, and I think that's going to be a focus after this, but we would definitely like to do, go play more shows and, communicate with all the fans, and that's definitely another goal in mind after the tour. But everything's in the works. You never know until it actually happens.
That is very true. In speaking of that, with finally getting that first exposure of an amazing tour coming up, how is the reception at home in Las Vegas? I never usually hear about that being huge when it comes to metal, but is there a good reception of a fan base there?
It's, actually, before we went to Fullerton, we played our show. It was our CD release party, and, oh man, there was a ton of people there. All our friends are here, and it's cool to hear what they have to say about it, because, they're so down to earth, and we got a ton of bands here in Vegas that, definitely deserve a shout out, like Pillars of Creation, and Optic Cleft and The Flesh, Bipolar, and, you know, all those guys are so awesome, and it wouldn't be, you know, it wouldn't be possible to get out there without their support and love. And at the show, sorry for getting off track, but at the show, you know, we had all our friends singing along, and it was a cool reception because we didn't know what it was going to be like at home. It was going to be either completely different from what was going on or, you know, the same. And it was a great reception. It was a great reaction. And, you know, a lot of people seem to enjoy it. And that's what counts, you know. It's cool to make new friends at home because, you know, you don't really get to communicate unless you're, you know, playing a show and meeting all these new people that, you know, live right in your backyard. And it's cool to hear what they do because, you know, they're from Vegas as well.
Oh, yeah. And that's where it really counts, too. I mean, unless you're a bedroom band or a basement band or something like that, only focusing on making new albums, when you're playing live, you want to have that hometown response, too. That way you can gauge what would happen outside of the hometown. And again, you know, when you have like great response like you do in Vegas, I mean, it can lead to great opportunities like what's coming up for you guys.
Exactly. It's kind of like a testing ground in a way, you know, to see how all your friends and family here in Vegas will respond to your songs and stuff. And cool to get feedback because then you can take it out of Vegas and, you know, do what works and do what doesn't work. You don't do what doesn't work.
So, you know, I gotta say, you do have an absolutely amazing voice when it comes to the album, and the fact that you're playing guitar too. Does any of that lessen at all when you're playing live, or are you at the point where you're able to fire on all cylinders?
You are too kind. I appreciate it. At the beginning, we were searching for vocalists in the first formation of Sicocis, and it was very tough here in town. We couldn't find absolutely anybody, and especially anybody who could do the style that we wanted. So, you know, I stepped up. I was extremely shy and self-conscious at first, and, you know, working with Raphael while recording the album and everything, that really helped because it made me find my voice and stuff. And at first it was very difficult to play and sing at the same time, but it's second nature now. It's really fun, and it's, you know, when you're playing live, you kind of get to see what you're going to do and how it's going to feel, and it's kind of like a lesson that you learn, like, okay, I can play this riff totally while I'm singing live, and it works out with, you know, headbanging or whatever, but then you see, like, oh, I can totally not play that riff, and that's absolutely horrible. I can't sing and play. And me and Raph really worked on that while writing the album to make the parts work with my vocals while I play, because that was very important when playing live shows and stuff. And, you know, it's totally second nature now, and it's fun. It's very fun to be able to play and sing. You know, it's a few years ago it would have been kind of difficult to see myself as a vocalist because I'm a guitar player, you know. But now I definitely identify as both now.
Oh, I'm glad to see that too. I mean, I know sometimes when it comes to frontmen, they're not able to pull off both. Either they have to lay back on the guitar and just do like simple rhythms while they're singing, or they just focus way more on the guitar than they do the singing. But I'm glad to see that both are second nature at this point.
Yeah, it's really fun. I grew up seeing a lot of my favorite guitar players sing and play, and it really inspired me.
And who was that inspired you to be able to do vocals and guitar at the same time?
There was a few. Mainly, you know, as a kid, one of the first bands I got into was Kiss. My dad took me to see them. Blew my mind. Even though our music doesn't really reflect their specific style, they definitely inspired me. Just to name a few more, Zakk Wylde, Alexi Laiho from Children of Bodom, and my biggest inspiration, definitely Peter Steele from Type O Negative, even though he doesn't play guitar, but definitely a big influence on that.
And I love hearing that diverse range on there. I mean, from Children of Bodom to Kiss to Type O Negative. I mean, it's great to see that you do have so much that you want to listen to when it comes to music, and it's not just in just one style.
That's the true beauty of music. You know, you'll be listening to a certain style, and, you know, you get sick of it, or it just grows old on you, and there's so much more to choose from. And that's one of the reasons I absolutely love music, and I think we kind of reflected that on the album, like, with our different styles of music. You know, I hope that people can, you know, listen to We Shall Rise and get inspired that they are enough and they could rise. And then at the same time, I feel like I hope that they are able to identify with songs like Isolated Salvation or, you know, Requiem. It's cool, you know, you have a variety. You don't have to listen to one song.
Oh, absolutely. So, with that said, what are you checking out now?
Music-wise?
Yeah.
I am absolutely in love and entranced with this band that my drummer turned me on to called The Great Discord, and I literally haven't been able to put their album down. That's all I've been listening to, and it's blowing my mind, and I'm in love with that band. That's all I've really been listening to. You know, on top of the regular things like, you know, Alice in Chains, Type O Negative, stuff like that, Library. But that band has completely inspired me and blown me away. It's unlike anything I've ever heard, and that's why I like them so much, and I really identify with their music.
Oh, it's great to see that, too, because they are a phenomenal band, and it's great to see that bands like that can have such an impact on other musicians.
Oh, definitely. That's what we hope to do with this album, man. That would be the ultimate goal, to have an impact on fans and musicians alike.
Well, again, I can definitely say from a radio show perspective, a drummer perspective, and just an overall music fan, I really love what you guys are doing with Requiem of the World, and I hope with this interview, I hope with the upcoming touring and everything else that's going on, that you guys will get that credibility that you deserve and the recognition, because you guys absolutely deserve it.
Oh, I definitely appreciate that, man. That means so much, you know, coming from you, and we always love to listen to what people have to say, and, you know, we definitely take it to heart, and, you know, we really look forward to bringing this out to the masses and going on that tour. It's going to be very fun.
Oh, definitely. Well, again, thank you for taking the time to do this. Thank you for waking up to do this interview. I feel very happy that you took the time to be able to do this, be able to help promote the brand new album from Sicocis, which is available now through M3 Audio, and of course that amazing tour coming up in May with Arkona and Sirenia. Before we're done here, is there anything else you'd like to mention that I haven't brought up yet?
I just want to send a shout out to all the fans and all our friends and our family. Thank you so much. We love you, and without you, we would be nothing. You are our support. You are our backbone. And look forward to seeing you on tour. Get the new album if you haven't. Check us out on Facebook, YouTube, and definitely check out M3 Audio. They have a lot of great music coming, and they're an awesome label.